The year 2021 has no doubt been a very busy year for the 9th National Assembly. From the controversial Electoral Act Amendment Bill to the Petroleum Industry Act, the Nigerian Senate as well as the House of Representatives recorded progress in passing once and for all some bills that had lingered for a while. In this special report, TV366's Anita Patrick takes a look at the year 2021 in the 9th Assembly and some of the legislation that will shape the year 2022.
2021 started on a slow key with the whole world still battling with the COVID-19 pandemic, which had crippled the world economy. The Nigerian economy was not spared as the federal government introduced some stimulus packages across board to ameliorate the effects of the pandemic. When the Nigerian parliament resumed from their Christmas and New Year holidays, it already had its work well cut out as the leaders began the process of bringing the economy back on track. Major bills and motions that topped the Senate and the House of Representatives agenda were the Petroleum Industry Bill, now the Petroleum Industry Act, Electoral Act Amendment Bill, the 2021 budget, amongst others. Recall that when President Muhammadu Buhari was presenting the 2022 appropriation budget to the joint session of the National Assembly, he assured Nigerians of a revenue to GDP growth ratio of 8% to 15% by 2025. He further said that the 2022 budget is geared towards economic recovery, growth and sustainability.
The 2022 budget will be the last full year budget to be implemented by this administration. We designed it to build on the achievements of previous budgets and to deliver on our goals and aspirations as will be reflected in our soon-to-be-launched National Development Plan of 21 to 2025.
Mr. President, members of the 9th National Assembly have kept to their promise of passing the annual appropriation bill before the end of the year to ensure that the bill is signed into law before the beginning of the new year.
Over the last two budget cycles, by the joint effort of the executive and the legislature, we have made significant progress in this regard and achieved reforms that will stand the test of time and count in our favor.
The Senate reconsidered its earlier stance on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by empowering the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to determine the best way to transmit election results. This was one of the four clauses revisited by the Senate in the Electoral Act Repealed and Reenacted Bill, which was earlier passed separately by the Senate and the House of Representatives.
In the course of carrying out this assignment, several meetings were held, which culminated in a retreat held at Transcorp Hilton on Thursday, 21st October 2021. The members of the Conference Committee have been presented in paragraph 1.1.1.
The Senate suspended plenary for 1 month to enable its committee on appropriation work on the general principles of the 2022 budget of 16.39 trillion naira. As part of efforts to ensure efficiency in the privatization of public assets, the House of Representatives says plans are underway to reform the Bureau of Public Enterprises. This process began in Abuja during a public hearing to allow major stakeholders, including MDAs, submit proposals that will help strengthen the operations of the Bureau of Public Enterprises.
For us to think critically and act decisively to ensure that we have in place a legal framework for privatization and public-private partnerships that allow us to collaborate with the private sector to meet our national public infrastructure demands and at the same time make sure that we maximize the value potential of existing assets.
Also, the upper and lower chambers of the National Assembly, while winding down for the year, passed the 2021 budget after the Committees on Appropriation submitted its report.
This is one of our great legacies by the grace of God, bringing back the budget cycle to that desirable and predictable January to December budget cycle.
Other issues that dominated Debates in both chambers includes insecurity and issues of national interest. In most cases, invites were sent to security chiefs and the IGP to brief them on why the situation had continued unabated. It is on record that Nigeria witnessed more deaths from kidnapping, banditry and insurgency in the 2021, and the parliament had on several occasions halted proceedings to pay respect to the victims.
It's also about understanding the fact that the executive and the parliament must always work in unison to achieve better outcomes. The parliament makes the laws, the executive implement the laws. So there must be a synergy between the two arms of governance.
Both chambers are hopeful that come 2022, they will do better and ensure Nigerians enjoy the dividends of democracy with much more legislative actions in place. Anita Patrick, TV360, Abuja.